Okay, the next step in our process is going to be to just start our virtual machine. So just click start. Okay, this is the initial menu for Slacks. In our particular case, we want to use only the text mode. So we're going to start just with a terminal, a shell terminal in Linux. It's going to take just a couple of seconds to finish, and after that we can just begin. Perfect, it's done. If you can see, it's just a standard Slacks installation. It's already running Linux, and to begin we're gonna be root user, and we're gonna type tour as the password. So ROOT as the user and TOOR as the login. And now that's it. We have an environment ready to roll. Once you have logged into the system, you need to know how to get out, of course. So there are two ways to do that in the virtual environment that we just set up. So let me show you the first one. This is not recommended, but it will always work, and that's why we actually created a virtual environment here. Go to the machine menu and click in shutdown. This basically is gonna make a force shutdown of the system, but as this is just a virtual environment that is running right now in memory, it's not gonna do any harm at all. So that's one way to do that. The other way, and this is much more appropriate in a regular system, is just to type, like in this case, power off. So let's do it. Power off. You see it's sending the halt signal to the system, and it's preparing everything in the computer, in the virtual environment, to just shut down the system. Once you finish doing whatever you're going to do with the system, the best way to just close the system is with the command power off. But if for any reason you cannot do that, you have always the machine menu to do it. I know that for some of you a computer terminal, it's a little bit scary, and you would prefer a graphical environment, but I hope that after watching a couple of videos that I'm going to show you here in this series, you might actually change your mind. Anyway, we are already inside our system and Slacks as a root user, and let's start with the most basic commands. So I'm in a system, and now I want to know who I am. So I type ID, and this actually shows me first here UID equals 0 root. That means I am the root user. Then it shows me my main group ID, that is 0, that again the name is root, and then there are a series of groups that I belong to. So it's not just root, but also bin, daemon, sys, admin, etc. So it doesn't matter all of those things right now. I just want to know who I am, and in this case I am root, which of course I logged in as root, so this is fine. So the next thing I would like to know is where I am. So to know that, we type the command pwd, and that will tell us exactly where we are, and we are at /root. So every time we enter a system, we're gonna go to home, and home is basically the landing directory where we are going to be after logging in. How can we be certain that we are at home? Well, one way to know that is, if I don't know where I am, I can just say cd is change directory and then tilde, and that's gonna always take me home. Now, if you can see here in the screen, it says root at /tilde. So we are actually at tilde or at home. Just to check that again, we type pwd, and again we are in /root. So this is very important because we can be changing directories or locations, and we want a friendly environment where we can be, and that certainly it's always home. Okay, now I know where I am, I know who I am, and now I would like to do some other stuff, of course. So I am home, and what is actually inside home? So what is where I am, and to know that is the next command. The next command is called ls, is on lowercase l and s, and that's gonna tell us a list of items in the current directory. The current directory is basically home or /root, and inside it we just have a directory called desktop. How I know it's a directory? Because it finishes with a slash. Okay, another way to see that is type the ls command with a -l parameter, and that's gonna tell us more information about the items in the current directory. In that case, it's gonna tell us basically a lot of information. First of all, it's gonna be the permissions. All of these are the permissions. Right now, the only thing important is the first character, a D. That D means it's a directory, not just the slash at the end of the name. But this D is basically what tells us it's a directory. Then it comes all of this rwx /dash etc. All those are the permissions. Then we have a number. We're not going to cover it right now. Then we have the user that created that item. Then the group that can access that item. Then is the size of it. In this case, is 62 bytes. And then the date when it was created is November 16, 2007, and then we have the name. Now let's create another item, a file, an empty file in the current directory, just to know, to see some change parameters and try to check again that information for that file. So to create an empty element there, we just type touch and then the name of the element, new file, and that's it. To see if we actually created it, we'll list it. You see, now we have two items, new file, and the previous desktop we already had, and I want to see more information about it. And you can see that right now it was created July 1st at 3:41. That is my local time right now, and it has 0 bytes. It was created by root and the root group, and you see, instead of the D at the beginning, it now has a dash. That means it's not a directory, it is just a regular file. And the name of the file, you can see it here. Okay?